What's your relationship with Donald Trump? Do you know him at all? Have you had a chance to interview him and talk to him?
I don't know him.
And finally, Donald Trump's presidential win has sparked an exodus of American celebrities, many of whom are now seeking refuge abroad. The latest one to join the list is former TV show host Ellen DeGeneres, who along with her partner Portia de Rossi has swapped the Stars and Stripes for the Union Jack. They've left behind their lavish California estates and relocated to England's posh countryside. The move was reportedly long planned but hastened by Trump's win. Here's more on Tinseltown's.
What happens when the queen of daytime smiles decides she's done playing nice? Ellen DeGeneres just roasted Donald Trump with a grin so cold, it froze Mar-a-Lago. One-liners, brutal. Delivery, flawless. Even her sneakers looked smug. Truth Social spiraled. His team scrambled. And somewhere in Florida, the Wi-Fi mysteriously died. This wasn't a joke. This was judgment wrapped in glitter.
Not spoken to him since he's run for president or become president.
Would you like him to come on the show?
Ellen DeGeneres just did the unthinkable, and no one saw it coming. America's daytime sweetheart just fired a shot straight at Donald Trump, and the internet can't breathe. This wasn't shade. This was a calculated ice-cold takedown. The woman who built a brand on kindness just torched a former president like it was scripted by HBO? Forget punchlines. This was personal. Ellen stared down the circus Trump ran for 4 chaotic years, scandals, tweets, tantrums, and said, "Enough. No more smiles. No more dancing." Her words, surgical, her delivery, deadly, and the message was crystal clear. You can't clown your way through consequences. Trump's team scrambled. Social media cracked. Even MAGA Reddit was speechless.
Why wouldn't someone like you like to sit down opposite the President of the United States?
Because I'm not going to change his mind. He's against everything that I stand.
Here's what they never expected. Ellen DeGeneres, America's smiling, dancing darling, just peeled back the curtain. She's not all sunshine and sparkles. Because when Ellen speaks her truth, it cuts like glass. For years, she avoided the political firestorm, played the kind aunt card, but behind that grin, opinions sharp enough to split the room. And this time, she didn't hold back. One comment, no fluff, just a scalpel.
In Australia, and these are her parents, and they live in America, and I don't know what religion they are, but her dad sounds a little Jewish, doesn't matter. She ends up at the Marine Life Institute behind a large wall, and they all have to get over the wall. And you won't believe it, but that wall has almost no effect in keeping them out.
And then came 2020. Not just an election, a cultural meltdown. Trump, already the reality TV president, was back for round 2. The country? A ticking time bomb. Far left. Far right. Everyone grabbed popcorn, doom scrolling like it was the Super Bowl of insanity. Then, almost like fate scripted it, Ellen spoke. For years, she stayed quiet. But Trump's chaos? It pushed her over the edge. Unhinged tweets, reckless claims, breaking every rule in the book. He acted like a toddler with the nuclear codes. And finally, Ellen had enough. She didn't whisper. She roared, called him out. Publicly, unapologetically. And what followed?
We're getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them.
Trump rehashing some old favorites, insisting that the 2020 election was stole from him.
We had that election. If it were an honorable election, we wouldn't have had any of the problems that we're talking about right now. Bush would have never got it.
You said that you could make that deal before you take office. Do you still think you could make that deal?
Now, let's get into it. Ellen, the queen of hugs and harmless jokes, just went nuclear. No screaming, no chaos, just precision. She didn't throw a tantrum. She threw a truth bomb wrapped in velvet but aimed like a sniper. Trump wasn't ready. Because this wasn't some random celeb rant. This was ice cold, strategic. And it hit. Ellen dismantled him with that surgical charm. No foul language, no drama queen antics. Just a calm, deadly roast that left Trump looking like a con artist cornered by receipts. The worst part? He didn't even realize he'd just been exposed. But was this shade or the start of something much bigger?
About the Republican debates, they're getting huge ratings, mostly because of Donald Trump. To be honest, I haven't watched the debates at all, but I do care about huge ratings. So I created something that's surely going to get the biggest ratings of all time. It's Trump debating Trump.
I was watching, and he said the statement.
Excuse me.
I did. 1 second.
They're losers. They're just losers.
If I wanted it, I would have got it.
Wrong.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there.
Mr. Trump, as president,
Well,
do you want...
I'd like to
All right to you, Mr. Trump.
I'm Donald Trump. I got along with all of them, and I did a damn good job.
Here's where it gets wild. Ellen didn't scream. She didn't rant. She didn't even raise her voice. Instead, she dropped a truth so sharp, it silenced the noise. No insults, no curse words, no complicated politics, just facts. And the timing? Devastating. While Trump was busy turning the country into his own reality TV circus, Ellen stepped in with one line. One perfectly aimed remark. She didn't preach, she didn't lecture, she just pulled the mask off. And what was? Underneath? A man flailing in chaos, loud, messy, desperate, and completely exposed. Trump didn't clap back with clarity, just confusion. Because that's what happens when someone's whole act is unraveling. He's like a human tornado, loud, spinning, destructive. But here's the kicker. Chaos isn't power. It's just a distraction from the fact that there's no plan.
How many of you watched the Republican debate over the summer? It was debatable, I thought. I don't know if you remember, I was in it, and I'm surprised people weren't talking about it more, but in case you missed it, I thought I would remind people.
Trump didn't rise in politics the normal way. He thrived in chaos. Lies? Just part of the act. Outrage? His oxygen. It was all performance, narcissism, delusion, and an addiction to spotlight. But then, Ellen snapped, and fans had no idea it was coming. She'd been quiet long enough, watching the circus unfold in silence, until silence wasn't an option anymore. She didn't throw a tantrum. She didn't insult. She cut deeper. With just one line, she shattered the illusion, called him out for being the con he'd always been. And here's the twist. Trump didn't know what to do. He tried to yell, tried to spin, but this time, the noise didn't work, because Ellen didn't play his game. She exposed it. And suddenly, the loudest man in the room was speechless.
Ask you about your business record.
I give to everybody. When they call, I give. And you know what? Most of the people on this stage, I've given to.
Not me.
Not me.
And here's where things took a turn no one saw coming. The man who thrived on chaos, who weaponized drama like it was a sport, was suddenly face to face with someone who refused to play. Trump, the master of noise, met Ellen. And she was calm, cold, calculated, as unbothered as a sloth in a hammock, and just as untouchable. She didn't clap back. She didn't yell. She just dismantled him, effortlessly. While he flailed, she floated. And when she finally dropped her critique, it hit like a sniper shot. Clean, quiet, and absolutely devastating. The show. Internet exploded. Memes, tweets, TikToks, everyone watching the meltdown unfold in real time. Trump's response? Predictable. A full-blown tantrum. He didn't pause, didn't reflect. He spiraled back into his greatest hits playlist. I'm the best president ever. No one's done more than me. Everyone else is a failure. It was delusional, desperate, like watching a kid, crumbs on his face, insisting he didn't eat the cookies. While the entire room saw him do it, but the scariest part? He wasn't just lying to the world anymore.
So he does all these nasty tweets about you, and you didn't respond. And then I think you thought that when he was elected, that he would actually, make the country, unify the country. Or did you really believe that he was gonna be a different guy than the guy that was tweeting?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
So my reaction was, when he started tweeting and people were sort of horrified and shocked, weren't you paying attention? Like, for me, it was like, yes, of course, we knew he was going to behave this way.
She's not a politician. She doesn't scream on cable news. She's not chasing headlines or throwing punches on Twitter. But somehow, Ellen just did what no one else could. She silently dismantled Donald Trump. And the fallout? Absolutely explosive. While others tried to shout over him, Ellen did the unthinkable. She used humor, grace, and a single razor-sharp sentence to bring his entire circus crashing down. No rants, no chaos, just one well-aimed truth. And suddenly, the emperor had no clothes. It was game over. Because Trump, the king of outrage, had no defense for subtlety. He couldn't yell louder than a whisper. He couldn't dodge a joke that exposed everything. For years, he got away with it. The lies, the chaos, the narcissism. But this time, the performance fell apart. And he knew it. You could see it. The confusion, the anger, the unraveling. He wasn't being debated. He was being seen. And that's what scared him. Not even Kamala Harris's critiques had landed like this. Because Ellen wasn't playing politics. She was holding up a mirror.
We need to look at someone else who looks different than us and believes in something that we don't believe in and still accept them and still let them have their right.
Let's be honest, America wasn't led by a president. It was run by a punchline. For 4 years, Donald Trump turned the White House into a reality show, complete with chaos.
He is who he is, and he has enough attention, and he has his Twitter account, and he has ways to get his message across. There's nothing I'm going to say to him that's going to change him, and I don't want to give him a platform because it validates him. And for me to have someone on the show, I have to at least.
And here we are, Trump, still grasping for control. His inability to take any criticism without lashing out. It's the flaw that's defined him, and it keeps destroying him as he rants on about his perfect presidency and how the world is against him. The truth is undeniable to anyone watching. Trump's time has passed. Ellen's call-out wasn't just a one-off jab. It wasn't a petty critique. No, it was a moment that exposed just how irrelevant Trump's become. Trump will never understand that his greatest weapon, his ability to command attention through chaos, was also his downfall. Meanwhile, Ellen, she's living her best life on top of the world and showing the world how to deal with him. She didn't stoop to his level. She didn't need to get loud or obnoxious. She just needed to be right. And sometimes, that's all it takes. Ellen didn't just call him out. She obliterated him. No 10-minute rant, no explosive takedown, just one word. One perfectly placed word, timed to perfection. And Trump, he spiraled faster than a Wi-Fi outage at Mar-a-Lago.
Donald Trump has come out with his own children's books. Don't ask me how, but I got a hold of some of them. And here is the first one right here. It's the cat in the Make America Great Again hat. Here's another one. Oh, the places you won't go because of the travel.
It was like watching someone pop a balloon with a single wink. Trump's entire persona, built on loudness, bravado, and overcooked spray tans, deflated right before our eyes. The man who's convinced that every little criticism is a deep. State attack couldn't even handle a subtle jab from someone who gives away air fryers for fun. That's not fragile. That's glass house. Soap bubble fragile. One breeze and it all shatters. As Trump scrambled to come up with some kind of comeback, probably typing out his rage while Cheeto dust covered his fingers. Ellen? She'd already moved on, probably backstage, dancing, laughing, and high-fiving her interns. She didn't even need to try to humiliate him. That's how low the bar was. You don't need a roast when the subject is already halfway cooked.
Can't have someone that I feel is not only dangerous for the country and for me personally as a gay woman, but as to the world. He's dividing all of us, and I think I don't want to represent.
This wasn't just a battle of wits. It was a public, raw unraveling. Trump, the so-called king of comebacks, got verbally curb-stomped by a talk show host who usually spends her afternoons interviewing puppies and handing out Target gift cards. And what makes it worse? She did it without breaking a sweat. Because when the truth is this glaring, it doesn't need any fancy dressing up. Ellen didn't just walk away victorious. She moonwalked off that metaphorical stage, leaving Trump, standing there confused, twitching, looking for someone, anyone, to blame. Poetic justice? Absolutely. In pastel. Here's the kicker. Sometimes you don't need fire to take down a bully. You just need a smile.